Welcome back, friends. Lost Scarf here, and it's time for Scarf to play Innsmouth. So it's called. You can go back here. Go back there. It's called. The title's not on the screen. Oh, that's just great. All right, okay. Well, it's called. Let me tab out. I thought the tab would be right there. It's called the Innsmouth Case. It is published by Assemble. Developed by Robot Pumpkin Games. It is a choose-your-own-adventure Cthulhu Lovecraftian kind of game going on here. And let me see what the hell these things are. So these are the settings button. Alright, cool. Text speed, be faster. Alright. And then what's this? Okay, that's achievements. Achieves. What the heck is this? Oh, okay, so just go back to old things. Alright. Let's start this out. Choose your own adventure kind of game. Gotta read things. Here we go. So time for me to read a bunch. Forward. We are this is a $12.50 game, and it was given to us by the developers. We are fans of the strange world of Innsmouth, but we recognize the problematic beliefs of H.P. Lovecraft. This game has been produced by a group of people who believe in inclusion and equality. H.P. Lovecraft was not the best person, but he spawned a thing. Boston, 21st September. The last rays of sunshine filter through the blinds of your empty office. The pathetic stench of whiskey, cold cigarette smoke, and canned ravioli fills the air. The screeching tires and constant beeping of car horns out there on the street tell you that it's gone 8 p.m. People are on their way home, finishing their day. You should join them. You decide to stay at your desk to go home. Let's stay at our desk. Your day was long and frustrating. You are running out of ideas on how to handle the calls of people who want money from you. A cold shiver runs down your spine as you flick through a pile of unpaid bills. On the top of the pile is a reminder from your landlady. You're 2 months behind on the rent. Whoops, clicked on accident. The next one is a 3-figure invoice from a games company for in-app purchases. You tried to claim them as business expenses in your last investigation, but somehow your client refused to pay. Then there's the second reminder from your internet provider threatening to cut off your connection. You might take legal action, because without the internet you can't work or live. You really need more in-app purchases, your lawyer, a cigarette, a little fresh air. We're a smoker. You're toying with the idea of a cigarette when you catch a glimpse of the unpaid bill from your doctor. Maybe you don't need a smoke after all. Oh, nice. You breathe a deep sigh. It may not have been a successful day, but at least it's over. You're looking forward to a classic Friday night, watching old mystery series at home in sweatpants and getting drunk on cheap booze. Since the early afternoon, you have been staring at the foreboding bottle of liquor at the other end of the room. Up until now, a vague sense of professionalism has kept you from drinking yourself into oblivion. Now nothing stands in the way. Make a sound, say who is it? The door slowly cracks open with a timid creak. The unknown guest pauses, then in a breathy and melodic tone you hear a woman utter, "Hello?" Your insides cramp. You suddenly realize that you haven't cleaned your office at all this year. Quickly try to clean up. Quickly try to clean up. Wait a minute, wait. You shout in a pitch that is at least 2 octaves higher than intended. Wait a minute, wait. There's no time to pick up all the crumpled pieces of paper on the floor. You gaze across the total mess on your desk. A weird, undefinable crust has formed on the wood. On the wood. You'd never noticed that before. You try to hide it by putting some unpaid bills over them. They get stuck immediately. Nice. By the light of the desk lamp, you now see more a silhouette. A breathtaking woman lights up your office. No doubt older than 40, maybe even 50, hard to say. Clad in black, a skin-tight dress culminating in a décolleté that seems to defy the laws of gravity. A smoky eyeshadow, as dark as algae washed ashore, blonde, coiffed, wavy hair under a dark beret. The faint light of the setting sun catches in the strands of her hair, and you wonder how many heads this woman must have turned during her prime. She's completely different from your usual customers. Nervous bankers with sweat stains from their armpits, convinced their wives have something going on with the mailman. Every move she makes is calculated grace. Smooth as an eel, she walks towards you and sits down at the corner of your desk. Determined, she walks towards you and... Which is a little bold. Without asking you first, but as a professional, you're not giving anything away. She seems to want to play the seductive damsel in distress. The quiet, amused voice of your subconscious is pleased that the stranger may be sharing your enthusiasm for film noir cliches. A far louder voice is surprised that this woman seems to think that a sexy pose in revealing clothes could win you over. Both voices agree that you don't like being manipulated. You don't think that the stranger perched on your table is trying to recover from a hard working day as a lingerie model. Therefore, you see no logical reason for her behavior. When she begins to speak, her voice is smoky and full of promise. My name is Delilah Marsh. I'm looking for a private investigator. I was told you are one of the best. Kiss her hand, geez. You've come to the right place, lady. What can I do for you? You sit back in your chair and fold your hands over your stomach. The woman seems a little irritated that her provocative behavior seems to have had no effect on you. She moves from the edge of the desk and sits down on the chair opposite you. Oh yes, She clears her throat. She continues to speak. The smoky seductiveness creeps back into her voice. Ask for more details. Oh, my name is Delilah. I need help. Ask for more details. It's about my daughter, Tabitha. She has disappeared. You're pulling out paper and pencil. This is gonna be a walk in the park. A walk in the kidnapped kids' park. Well, when did you last see her and where? She puts on a fake smile. We live in Innsmouth. It's a small port town north of Arkham. The Joker lives there. You frown. This is a bit vague. What was your child doing when you last saw her? What hobbies does she have? Oh, you know, kid stuff. They just run around and play with their yo-yos, that sort of thing. Delilah nervously combs her hands through her hair. What about her father? What about Tabitha's father? Are you separated? What about Tabitha's father? Are you separated? Often children reappear with family members. Delilah smiles sadly. My little one can't swim well enough for that yet. Your pen remains on the same spot on the notepad. What was that supposed to mean? Her daughter's a Cthulhu? Dig deeper. Delilah's about to continue. Dig deeper. We dig. Excuse me, but you're struggling to find the right words to respond to such a cryptic statement. What the hell do you mean by that? The kid can't swim enough? Delilah turns up her nose. She doesn't seem comfortable with you asking personal questions. Still, she responds, Oh, it's just an old saying in our village. She smiles, but doesn't reach her eyes. Oh, freaking mouse. Okay, come on. There we go. Delilah turns her gaze away from you and looks dreamily. Longingly out a window. Her father was a fisherman, like most of the village. A few years ago he went out to sea, but never returned. His boat was washed ashore weeks later. His colleagues told me that he had finally followed the call of the waves. You keep quiet for a moment. Deceased family members are always a sensitive subject. My sincere condolences. She seems calm. Oh, somehow I always knew that moment would come. I think my husband is in a better place now. At some point I'll join him. You take a closer look at Delilah's outfit. Judging by her behavior and clothes, you never would have taken her to be a fisherman's wife. More details of the case. What does your daughter look like? She's only 8 and the sweetest girl you can imagine. She's been missing without a trace since last week. None of her classmates have seen her, and no one knows where she might have gone. She hands you a photo. Look at this. Look, this is my little munchkin. Ah! It's a weird-looking child. Good heavens, is this supposed to be a joke? Is that really the face of a child? Or a shoddy photo edit? Are you being filmed as part of a reality TV show? A bit of stomach acid and the last bite of lunch slowly but surely make their way up into the back of your mouth. Oh, that's just mean. Come on, guy. Have better sense. Yes, this is a man that swallows. Swallow it. With narrow eyes, you swallow the bile and involuntarily pull a face. Delilah continues to look at you hopefully. She obviously didn't notice your little mishap. That was close and could have been unpleasant. Don't ask that question. I'm so desperate her eyes lock with yours. Do not ask that question. Ask more questions. Yo-yos? Hold on, yo-yos? Ring, ring. Can you hear that? That's the 90s calling. They want their outdated toys back. Delilah blushes. Normally you would find this quite attractive, but the case of a missing girl beckons and you're utterly convinced by the way this woman pretends to be a mother. Unconvinced. Confront her. Something's fishy here. You have a nose for this sort of thing. That's why you became private investigator. Or to be more precise, that's why you took on online detective course that, for a one-off fee, provided the necessary qualification. It's time to take your visitor to task. Has your daughter really disappeared? Why did you come to me? Get out of your chair. Innsmouth is several miles away from here. Why do you want to hire me? I wouldn't even hire myself. Delilah crosses her arms. Are we about to get Wicker Man in this game? What do you care? Do you want to be paid or not? Right now, I just want the truth. Woo! You're sticking to your principles. That's exactly what your instructor warned you about. Still, it feels good. Delilah takes a step back and releases her tightly crossed arms. Already tried loads of other investigators. Anyone who seemed trustworthy, really. But no luck. That's why I'm coming to you. Ask more questions about the case? Does your daughter have any friends? Does your daughter have any friends she might be staying with? Classmates? Sports club members? Anything like that? Delilah silently shakes her head. Very strange. You're about to ask if the girl at least had imaginary friends, but you hold back. No, I have no further questions. With no further questions, you mumble more to yourself than her. Delilah stretches her neck imperceptibly. No doubt she would like to take a look at your notebook. Your pen hovers over the notes you've taken. Missing daughter, dodgy lady. That's it. You've worked with less. I'll take the case. Are you going to take this case or not? You know it. A missing person case. Nothing unusual. The conventional little girl runs away from home after reading her first romance novel. Usually they hide at the edge of the forest or in a library. Should be pretty straightforward. Before you can say anything, she drops a photo of the child and a roll of bills on your desk. For your expenses. You nod slowly. Try not to drool down the front of your shirt. You haven't seen this much money in ages. We're gonna get Wicker Man! You don't have much time to prepare. A quick search reveals that only one bus goes to Innsmouth. And only once a day. A pattern emerges in your research. The few news items related to this little coastal town are all about missing persons. That's not good! In addition, you find some rather old-fashioned articles that praise the coastal town as a secret holiday destination. The best fish, untouched beach promenade, authentic fishing people are the recurring buzzwords. Delilah has given you the address at which you're supposed to drop off her daughter as soon as you find her. She also wrote down her phone number on the child's photo. Take another look at the picture before you pack your things. Why would you throw up at that? It's just a kid with a funny face. The next morning you travel by Boos. Why would you hitchhike? Boston 22nd of September. We'll do a little bit more and then we'll just kind of click through a bit. Your journey begins at a busy bus station. There is supposed to be a bus line that departs from here to Innsmouth. Buses, you think to yourself, are not only an environmentally friendly means of transportation, they're also easy on your wallet. Sadly, the departure boards aren't of much help. New York, Maine, Rhode Island, no trace of Innsmouth as a destination. Wander around for a while until you notice a cleaner eating a sandwich on the side of one of the vending machines. How'd the cleaner? Excuse me, where can I find the bus to Inns? Without letting go of his sandwich, the cleaner points to an abandoned counter at the dingiest corner that a public bus station could be capable of. The man gives you a nod indicating that anything that can be said has indeed been said. You find that the counter is elaborately decorated with cobwebs. It's a bit early for Halloween preparations, but at least someone's made an effort. At the moment, nobody seems to be there. You press your face against the plastic window to peer into the room behind. Hello? Hello, is anyone there? I have to go to Innsmouth. No one there. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a bus ticket appears on the counter. Might the trip be free? Leave a donation. You're a staunch defender of the law. It goes without saying that you pay. Put a few coins in the bowl underneath the foggy glass window. Hopefully they won't be stolen by the next passenger. Even if someone were sitting behind the counter, you wouldn't be able to see him. It's just too dark. You're distracted for a few seconds, and suddenly there's some change on the counter. What's that in amongst the coins? A small golden fishhook? How strange. Where's this bus hiding? In between the polished greyhounds and travelers stowing their luggage, saying goodbye and dropping tiredly into their seats, there's a kind of dumpster. A dumpster with windows and wheels? No. It's actually a bus. It's a bit on the rusty side, and even from a distance you sense the strange smell it emits. Is that sulfur? You're not convinced how this thing is supposed to drive. In its vicinity, everything is noticeably quieter than on the other bus stops. The people getting on show no sign of emotion. Nobody's trying to jump the queue here. Instead, the passengers move past the bus driver at a uniform speed, one after the other, shuffling up the creaking steps. Each two-seater bench is occupied by individuals, as if they want to make sure not to come into contact with their fellow passengers. The sign clearly says Innsmouth. No departure times, no stopovers, just Innsmouth. Undecided, you're standing on the stairs of the bus. Show your ticket. You hand the driver the ticket. No reaction. At least you can't make out a reaction. The lighting is poor and the shadow of his dusty driver's cap covers almost his entire face. You know something strange on his neck, but you can't quite make out what it might be. You're standing in the door waiting for an okay, a nod, anything. The sulfur odor has increased. A queue has formed behind you, and no one is pushing or complaining. People waiting quietly and patiently. Say something. Get out of here. Say something. There's something you want to tell the driver? Why would you say Kalatu for Adenict? Innsmouth? Innsmouth, he asked carefully. The driver nods his head toward the aisle. The international language for just keep walking, moron. You shuffle sideways through the center aisle. You don't remember the bus looking this long from the outside. You're surrounded by shabby two-seater benches, and some are already occupied, one traveler per row. The last bench is free. Looks like the upholstery torn in some places, though. Or has it been slit open? You can see springs with sharp wire edges, and some sticky liquid seems to have leaked onto this floor. Why don't you just sit down in one of the free rows? Here in the back, almost everything is occupied. Most of the passengers seem to have purposely sat down in the aisle seats, blocking out the window seats. Maybe this is an opportunity to get a little closer to the common Innsmouth visitor? Sit down with someone! Make it awkward! Make it awkward! As nonconformist, you join one of the passengers in a double seat. Since only one man was so considered as to sit at the window, your options are limited anyway. As far as you can tell, the man is a haggard figure with barely any luggage. The hood of the gray jumper pulled far onto his face. The man looks out onto the street as if something very important is happening there that requires his attention. Is the seat taken? You ask politely. He turns his head and gives you a brief once-over. Without saying a word, he turns away again. Sit down anyway. Alright, that wasn't a no either. You sit down and regret it instantly. The smell of sulfur is now overpowered by something else. It smells like it's been in the sun for too long. Trying to catch a glimpse of what's under that hoodie. Does this person have a genetic defect? Is he malnourished? You're not sure exactly where the problem might be, but you're trying to stay professional. Talk to a stranger next to you. There's a chance to get some information. Do a small talk about veganism. Look at the passenger over. Play the tourist. Play the tourist. You clear your throat before you speak. Twitching with a slight tremor, the man turns to you. Excuse me, I'm visiting Innsmouth for the first time. Do you happen to come from there? A twitch is all you get. Maybe you should get right to the point. Okay. Webbed hands. Alright. It's hard to tell if you're boring him. As for a few tourism tips. Mention the missing girl. As for a few tourism tips. Don't let them know where you're going. Does Innsmouth have any sights? Your neighbor stares into the middle distance. Is he thinking? The silence between the two of you is hardly bearable. The beach. He finally stutters. Your eyes meet again. The old town, he adds. Well, that could have gone worse. Small talk has been gruelingly slow, so you decide to let it go. This ride is taking forever. We've been reading for 20 minutes. Let's just get through this a little bit. Curious, you look through the front window. Rather expectedly idyllic. From shuffle off. Okay. We're now at Innsmouth town limits. Okay. So we're now at Innsmouth. Do like 5 minutes just clicking through here. I can read kind of fast. So these kind of games are all about if you get pulled in by the concept, and I'm liking the concept so far. Like I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm really curious about the mystery. Oh, interesting. There's just statues and release of. But these are not your classic harmless counterfeits. They are pagan symbols and grimaces of. Oh, geez, okay. Faces pressing against the wall, windows. All the locals appear to be watching you. You suddenly start to think that the cries of seagulls sound particularly human-like. Sound like humans crying out in pain. Okay, so this place is a bit scary to you. Welcome to Innsmouth. Turn around. Welcome, how nice of you to visit. A small elderly woman waves at you from afar. Alright. Okay, there's someone nice in this town at least. Learning about the fountain, which is a scary looking thing. Okay. Who the hell are you? Of course, I'm an art historian. Of course, I'm an art historian. Okay. Her name is Muriel Pooping Place. Okay. Director of Parks Commissions. At least there's someone nice in this town, right? So we now have a map thanks to this lady. Isn't that nice? Okay. It's a short trip. Okay. Music's pretty interesting for atmosphere. Oh no! Grab the briefcase on the bus! Oh no! Alright, well, let's check out the harbor. The worst place to go is the harbor. I'm going there first. Alright, 60 more seconds. Okay, we're just gonna click haphazardly a little bit. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to click on whatever I clicked at. Apparently I went to the beach or the harbor. It's a slow burn then. What? Scratch something into the flaking white layer of paint on the surface of the door. Do not come any closer, they want your body. Woo! UFO sex cult a danger? Sounds like danger. Alright. Oh crap, we're in the light. Oh, I didn't mean to. Yeah, I'm just clicking too fast. Apparently things are happening. Alright, I might be clicking too much. So this is definitely, you gotta just do a lot of reading to get to anything. Alright. Ah, crap. Okay. So... Curious about something. Let's go back to main. What's restart exactly? Let's see how far restart is. Curious. Whenever it goes over. Alright, good to know. Now I'm just curious. What if we just gave in to the lady being a seductress? I'm curious. No. So just click, click, clickety click, clickety click, clickety clack. Clear your desk. You mean to click on whatever happened there? Or is it invite her in? Which makes you blush. There's a... Okay, so instead of being like, oh, it didn't work out, this sounds like it's just working. Of course we find your missing daughter. I never saw she extended her hand. Oops. The strong smell of caviar she gives off. Oh, the clues are there. Just flirting. Okay. Okay, then we get to the case. Okay. And then we're back to this. So, I'm just curious if any of this just flirtatious stuff or any of that is significant or not for later, but we wouldn't know as we played a bunch. So this is very interesting. I'm gonna have to play, obviously, a bunch of this to get through some of the story to get really a good sense before I can see if I want to recommend it or not. But that's it for the ScarfPlays. I had fun. Hope you had fun watching. That's what's up, Bezit. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.